Hey everybody, it's such a joy for me to be with all of you today. Thank you so much for dropping by. Just want to declare that God has great things in store for you as well. Before I go into the message that I have in store for you today, I encourage you to connect with me through the various social media platforms that I'm available on. You can check out my content on Instagram. You can also connect with me through Facebook and Parler. You can also subscribe for daily inspirations through WhatsApp, and you can also get regular content on YouTube. Don't forget to get my books, both my first one, Who Am I, which will help you understand your identity, as well as my second one, Unveil Your Purpose, which became a number one on Amazon, which will help you discover your purpose and to start walking in it as well. You can get more details at www.johngiftah.com, and I encourage you to rate this podcast in the platform that you are listening to, and also give a review so that it will boost and help reach more people. And thank you so much for listening, and do share it around with your friends and loved ones so that it will be a great blessing to them as well. Now let's go to the session that we have for today. Do you feel like you're in the wrong place? Do you feel like you're in an environment which is toxic or does not line up with the standard of God's word, or you're in a place which is just not where you want? You know that God has something bigger, greater in store for you, and you're wondering, oh my goodness, John, I feel I'm stuck. I feel like I'm really in a place where I don't want to be. I wish I was not here, but I have no other choice. I don't know what to do, John. What can I do with my life? Now listen, there are so many aspects to talk about this on a case by case scenario, but today I want to talk about a couple of things that I believe is very general, but this is something that some of you need to hear. But in some cases, maybe God has given you instructions, or God is leading you in a case by case scenario. We can talk about it if you would like to talk to me on a one-on-one basis, if you want to talk about your case in particular. But today I want to tell you something very important here, based on the word of God. And one of the verses that I want to highlight and then go to the main passage that I have for today is this. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 17 in the Message version goes on to say, and don't be wishing you were somewhere else or with someone else. Where you are right now is God's place for you. Live and obey and love and believe right there. I want to read this again. Don't be wishing you were someplace else or with someone else. Where you are right now is God's place for you. Live and obey and love and believe right there. So what I want you to understand is, of course, there are moments when God gives you specific instructions to make a move and you don't listen to Him, and those are totally different things. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the people who know that they have a bigger calling. They know that God has put some desires or dreams which seems too far out, but where they are right now seems like, oh my goodness, John, it seems like I'm stuck in a rut. It seems like I'm in the wrong place. It seems like I don't have what it takes. It seems like, John, I don't know what to do with my life. But that is where I want you to remember this important truth. See, if God has given you instructions and you don't do it, that's a different thing. But if you feel that you're stuck in a place where you know there's something more in your life, you know that God has put something bigger, or you know that there's a greater purpose for your life, or you know that there's something deeper in all of it, but you feel like your full potential is not being reached here, or you feel like you're not valued for who you are, you feel like you're always in the short end of the stick. But if you are in such a place where you say, John, I don't have a way out, I'm not able to see how I can maneuver this place, or how I could live in a different place, For such people, this is the word I want to share. Now listen, if you need to be anywhere else, but you have a heart which says, I want to surrender to God's will and plan and purpose, and you have given your life into the Lord's hands, and you know that you have obeyed Him to the best of your ability to do the right thing that He wants you to do, and still you feel you are stuck, and still you feel like you're in a limited environment, you still feel like you're in the wrong place. If that's the case, I want you to get this word, because this is the word for you to know this without a shadow of a doubt, that God made no mistake in your life. He is orchestrating your life. So stop wishing you were in a different place or with somebody else, and learn to embrace and say, okay, this is God's will for me, and I'm going to learn to love and obey God and have the faith right where I am. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to remember, to embrace where God has placed you, to be grateful in the place that God has placed you. Now, there are different things I can talk about, but if you say, John, but then I clearly see that I'm in the wrong place. I know that God has put desires or dreams that He has given me, the visions He has shown me are all concerning a different place. It could be in terms of a position or a geographical location. Maybe God is giving you regarding a different nation or a place, or maybe it could be just a job domain. Maybe you are working in something else, but you know God has given you dreams or desires in some other field, or maybe to start your own business, but you're now working under somebody else, or maybe you have certain kind of dreams and desires, and you say, this is what I wish would happen, but right now you feel stuck and you don't have the connections, the resources, and what you dream or believe and ask God for seems to be out of your reach. If that describes you, listen to this. There was a lady in the Bible who was in a very similar place, and that is Ruth. Ruth was in a place called Moab. I want you to understand, Moab is a picture of a very sinful place. Okay, alright? But here's the thing I want you to understand. If I just try to give you a bird's view of the whole story, this is how it would go. There's a famine in another country, and the family moves from that nation and comes to this nation of Moab. And eventually, they get acquainted with Ruth, as one of the sons ends up marrying Ruth. And later, all the three men in the family die. The father and the two sons die. So what happens is, Ruth is now acquainted with the mother-in-law, that is Naomi, and her sister-in-law, that is Orpah. Orpah just leaves and says, okay, let me go back to my family where I came from, and let me see what to do with my life. But Ruth gets an opportunity, and she says, listen, I want to honor God, and I want to stay faithful to the true God, right? Like I said, Moab is a sinful place, and they were known for worshiping idols, and she is determined, saying, you know what, this is my chance, this is my moment. And so she decides to follow the true living God, and she goes back with Naomi. And what happens? She gets back to this nation, and eventually gets acquainted with Boaz. And long story made short, she's in the generational line of Jesus Christ. Now, when you just look at it in this fashion, this is what you understand, that it looks like Ruth was in the wrong place. Maybe she had a heart to do what was right, maybe to honor God, stand up for the true living God, but she was stuck in a wrong place. She was stuck in the wrong system. She was stuck in the wrong pattern. She was stuck in the wrong place completely, and she had no way out. But what you see is, through a famine, it looks like God orchestrated the whole story in such a way that through a famine, an entire family moves all the way to Moab. And if you see, in one way of looking at it, it looks like this entire family moved to Moab just for this one girl to be acquainted and to be connected to her ultimate destiny, that is to be in the generational line of Jesus Christ. Now, I want you to think about it in that way. It looked like she was in the wrong place. It looked like she had no hope. but through something that happens somewhere, just some famine in the land, and a family decides to move. Of all places, they come to this place of Moab, and of all places, of all people, the sons end up marrying Ruth. So now think about it for a minute. Just for this one girl, an entire family left their nation and came to a different country so that she would be acquainted to fulfill her destiny. What I want you to understand is God is a God of miracles. God knows how to shift people across. God knows how to connect the dots. God knows how to bring the right people across your path. And God knows how to take you to your final destination. It may seem like there's no way out for you. It might seem like you have no hope. It might seem like you're in the wrong place. It might seem like you don't have the connections. It might seem like you don't have what it takes. But I'm here to announce to you, if you are faithful where you are, if you stop wishing you were elsewhere and say, God, I thank you because I don't have any other thing, but I believe that this is where you have placed me. But I commit my dreams, my desires, visions, and promises into your hands. And I believe that just like you were able to bring an entire family from one country to another just for Ruth to reach a final destination, I believe that God can make family move, or he can make a business move. He can make anything under the sun just for you to fulfill your God-given destiny. That's what I want you to have the hope and desire today. That's what I want you to be encouraged by, to know, yes, John, it looks like I'm in a disadvantage, but I commit it into the Lord's hands. And I believe that even if I am in the wrong place, God can bring the right people to connect me to where I need to be. And that's the faith I want you to have. And live with that hope, knowing that God knows how to make your dreams, your visions, the promises that He has given you to become a reality over your life. God bless you. I hope you were blessed, encouraged, and edified by the message that you just listened to. I encourage you to connect with me through the various social media platforms. I'm available on Instagram, Parler, and Facebook. You can also check out my regular content on YouTube. And I encourage you to get my books, both Who Am I, as well as my latest one, which became a number one on Amazon, Unveil Your Purpose. I'm sure these books will be a great blessing to you as well. Please do leave a rating and review this podcast in the platform that you're listening to. Share this around with a friend and a loved one. I'm sure it will bless them as well and also help us reach more people with the good news of Jesus Christ as well. Do check out other content on the podcast platform. And if you're led to support us financially or you would like to connect with me, you can also check out the details in the description with regard to my PayPal account. And also, if you are led to invite me to share the word in any other platform, you can do so by connecting with me either through the website or through any other means like the social media platforms as well. Thank you so much for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. If you want to get more details, check out my website www.johngiftah.com.